Animal rescue stories remind us of the strength of compassion and the bond between humans and animals. They show that every life is precious and inspire us to act with kindness. These stories reveal the best of humanity, even in dark times. They unite us, spark hope, and encourage us to make the world kinder for all creatures. Let these stories inspire you to act and believe in the power of compassion. Animal rescue stories connect us, creating a community of people who care. They inspire action, volunteering, donating, or simply being more mindful of animals around us. These stories raise awareness about animal suffering and encourage positive change. In a world full of negativity, they offer hope and remind us of the good that exists. Let these stories move you to make a difference and cherish the bond we share with animals. On a snowy day, the Miller family walked by the frozen river, their dog Max leading the way. Suddenly they heard a faint whimper from the ice. Max alerted them to a tiny puppy stranded on a thin patch of ice, shivering and scared. The family knew they had to act quickly. David spotted a fallen branch and, with Sarah's help, used it to reach the puppy. Inch by inch they approached, reassuring the frightened animal. The puppy, sensing hope, crawled toward them, desperate for rescue. Emily fetched a rope while David and Sarah carefully edged onto the ice with the branch. Max waited anxiously on shore, watching every move. David extended the branch, softly coaxing the puppy closer. The puppy, trusting and desperate, inched forward. With teamwork and patience, the family guided the puppy to safety. Their quick thinking and courage made all the difference. The rescue was a testament to compassion and unity. The puppy finally reached the branch and was pulled to safety. Sarah wrapped the shivering pup in her arms, tears of relief streaming down her face. Emily returned just in time to witness the rescue, overjoyed. Max welcomed the puppy, now named River, into the family. That day, a simple walk became a story of hope, compassion, and new beginnings. In the city, a lost kitten named Oliver found himself far from home after sneaking into a delivery truck. Overwhelmed by the noise and chaos, he darted through alleys, searching for safety. Exhausted, he climbed a tall brick building, using every ounce of strength. High above the city, Oliver curled up on a rooftop, alone and scared. He hoped for rescue, unaware that help was closer than he thought. His adventure was just beginning. From the rooftop, Oliver watched the city below, too tired to move. In a nearby apartment, Sophia, a kind-hearted writer, noticed the tiny white kitten on the roof. She longed for a pet but never expected to find one this way. Realizing the kitten was in danger, she knew she had to help. Sophia's compassion set a rescue in motion. Sometimes the right eyes see us when we need it most. Sophia called for help, but official rescue wasn't an option. Undeterred, she rallied her neighbors. Mr. Jones, a retired firefighter, brought his ladder. Mrs. Garcia, some tuna. The community gathered, united by concern for the kitten. Mr. Jones climbed the ladder, steady and determined. Sophia held the tuna high, hoping to lure Oliver to safety. Together they proved that compassion can bring people together for a common cause. The early morning mist clung to the trees, shrouding the forest in silence. Sarah, a wildlife rescue volunteer, breathed in the crisp air, savoring the peace. Suddenly a high-pitched, distressed bleating shattered the calm. It was the unmistakable cry of a fawn in distress. Caught in a rusty fence, the fawn struggled, panic in its wide eyes. Sarah approached gently, whispering, "It's okay, little one, I'm here to help." Sarah carefully set down her backpack and pulled out her gloves and wire cutters. She knew that the fawn's survival depended on her ability to free it quickly and safely, without causing it further injury or stress. The fawn continued to struggle, its fear palpable. Sarah took a deep breath, her own heart pounding in her chest. She had to stay calm. The fawn's life depended on it. With slow, deliberate movements, she approached the fawn, her eyes never leaving its. She spoke softly, reassuringly. As she reached out a gloved hand, her touch gentle, but firm. The fawn flinched at her touch, but gradually seemed to sense that she meant no harm. its struggles subsided slightly, replaced by a trembling that shook its small body. Working as quickly and carefully as she could, Sarah maneuvered the wire cutters, snipping away at the rusted metal that imprisoned the fawn's delicate legs. The wire cutters bit into the metal with a sharp clang, and each sound sent a fresh wave of panic through the fawn. But Sarah continued to work, her movements precise and efficient, her focus unwavering. Time seemed to both crawl and fly by. The morning mist began to lift, revealing shafts of sunlight that pierced through the trees, illuminating the scene with an almost surreal glow. The forest around them came alive with the sounds of birdsong and rustling leaves, a symphony of life that belied the desperate struggle for survival unfolding before them. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Sarah snipped through the last piece of wire. The fawn, free from its metal prison, stumbled back, its legs shaky beneath it. For a moment it simply stood there, its sides heaving, its eyes wide with a mixture of fear and relief. Sarah held her breath, afraid to move, afraid to startle the fawn. She watched as it took a few tentative steps, testing its newly freed legs. Then, as if suddenly remembering its mother, it let out a plaintive bleat and disappeared into the undergrowth. Sarah watched it go, her heart soaring with relief and a profound sense of gratitude. She knew that the fawn's ordeal was far from over. It was still young, vulnerable, and separated from its mother. But it had been given a second chance, a chance to live and thrive in the wild, thanks to a stroke of luck and the compassion of a stranger. As she packed up her gear, the morning sunlight filtering through the trees, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that she had witnessed something truly special. It wasn't every day that she got to make such a tangible difference in the life of a wild animal. This experience, she knew, would stay with her long after the memory of the encounter had faded. It was a reminder of the fragility of life, the interconnectedness of all living things, and the profound responsibility that humans have to protect and preserve the natural world. It was a reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope, compassion, and a little bit of courage can make all the difference. And as she made her way back through the forest, the sounds of the city fading behind her, she carried with her the image of the fawn running free, a testament to the enduring power of life and the unbreakable bond between all living creatures. The morning at Sunnybrook Elementary buzzed with excitement as children returned from summer break. Suddenly, a flash of brilliant feathers caught everyone's eye. A vibrant parrot perched atop the basketball hoop. The beautiful bird looked lost and confused, its colors dazzling but its eyes full of worry. Mrs. Thompson, moved by the parrot's plight, knew she had to help. Returning to her classroom, Mrs. Thompson grabbed a couple of ripe bananas from the snack bin, hoping the universal appeal of a sweet treat might entice the bird. She carefully made her way back outside, approaching the parrot slowly, her movements measured and non-threatening. "Hello there, beautiful," she said softly, holding out a piece of banana. "Looks like you're a long way from home." The parrot, startled by her approach, ruffled its feathers and let out a series of ear-splitting squawks. But the enticing smell of the banana seemed to pique its interest. It cocked its head, its dark eyes watching her every move with a mixture of fear and curiosity. Mrs. Thompson, sensing a glimmer of hope, gently placed the banana on the ground, a safe distance from the hoop. "It's okay, there you go," she cooed, her voice soothing, "just a little something to tide you over." As Mrs. Thompson watched from a distance, the parrot, its initial fear giving way to hunger, cautiously hopped down from its perch and approached the banana. It pecked at the fruit tentatively at first, then devoured it with gusto, its bright beak flashing in the morning sun. Meanwhile, the news of the exotic visitor had spread through the school like wildfire. Mrs. Thompson's classroom, with its prime view of the unfolding drama, became the epicenter of excitement. The children, their faces pressed against the window, watched in awe as their teacher tried to coax the parrot closer. Inspired by their teacher's compassion, the students brainstormed ways to help the lost bird. Could it be someone's pet? Had it escaped from the nearby zoo? The children peppered Mrs. Thompson with questions, their young minds eager to solve the mystery of the feathered visitor. "We need to find its owner!" exclaimed Emily, her voice filled with concern. "Someone must be missing their bird terribly." The other children nodded in agreement. They knew that a creature as beautiful and exotic as this parrot belonged in a loving home, not lost and alone in their schoolyard. Mrs. Thompson turned the lost parrot into a class project. The children made colorful posters and spread the word through town, hoping to find the bird's family. Soon an elderly man called. His grandson's parrot, Coco, was missing. The reunion was joyous, and the children cheered, proud of their teamwork. While heartwarming stories of animal rescue often focus on the dramatic rescues and emotional reunions, the real heroes are often found working tirelessly behind the scenes. These are the dedicated individuals who devote their lives to caring for animals in need, providing a safe haven for the lost, abandoned, and forgotten. Step inside any animal shelter and you'll find a world of compassion, dedication, and unwavering love, a testament to the enduring bond between humans and animals. The cacophony of barking dogs and mewing cats greets you at the door, a chorus of voices yearning for attention, for a loving touch, for a second chance. The air hums with the constant activity of caring for these animals, from cleaning cages and preparing food to administering medication and offering words of comfort. Volunteers, their faces etched with a mixture of weariness and determination, move purposefully through the crowded kennels, their hands never idle, their hearts always open. There's Maria, a retired nurse who spends her days cuddling kittens, her gentle touch soothing their fears and helping them learn to trust again. John, a high school student, walks a rambunctious Labrador retriever, his laughter echoing through the hallways as the dog pulls him along, eager to explore the world beyond the shelter walls. And Sarah, her eyes red-rimmed from a sleepless night caring for a litter of orphaned puppies, wouldn't trade this life for anything. It's not always easy, Sarah admits, gently stroking the soft fur of a sleeping puppy. There are days when the sadness is overwhelming, when you see so much pain and neglect. But then you see a dog wag its tail for the first time in weeks, or a cat rub against your leg, and you remember why you're here. The work is often physically demanding, emotionally draining, and financially challenging. Shelters rely heavily on donations and the tireless efforts of volunteers to keep their doors open, to provide food, shelter, and medical care to the countless animals that come through their doors. What drives these individuals to care for animals in need? For many, it's a calling, a deep belief that every creature deserves kindness and a chance at happiness. The rewards aren't fame or fortune, but the joy of seeing a rescued animal find love and hope again. In their hearts, compassion shines brightest, bringing light to even the darkest places. Acts of kindness ripple through our world, connecting people and animals in powerful ways. From frozen rivers to city streets, compassion saves lives and inspires hope. Every rescue, big or small, reminds us we all have a role in making the world kinder. Even the smallest act can spark a wave of change for animals everywhere. Every act of kindness, no matter how small, can make a world of difference in the life of an animal. Adopting a shelter pet instead of buying from a breeder, supporting local animal shelters and rescue organizations through donations or volunteering our time, speaking out against animal cruelty and neglect. These are all meaningful ways to be a voice for the voiceless. We can educate ourselves about responsible pet ownership, ensuring that our animal companions receive the love, care, and respect they deserve. We can create safe havens for wildlife in our backyards, planting native trees and flowers, providing fresh water sources, and keeping our distance from wild animals, allowing them to thrive in their natural habitats. The stories shared in this journey are not just heartwarming anecdotes, they are calls to action, urging us to embrace our innate capacity for compassion and extend it to all creatures, great and small. They remind us that the world is a shared home, a delicate ecosystem where the well-being of one species is inextricably linked to the well-being of all. As we turn the page on these heartwarming tales, let us carry the lessons they offer deep within our hearts. Let us remember the power of compassion, the resilience of the human spirit, and the extraordinary bond that exists between humans and animals. Let us be inspired to make a difference in the lives of animals, to speak for those who cannot speak for themselves, and to create a world where kindness, respect, and love for all living creatures prevail. The journey towards a more compassionate world begins with each of us, with every act of kindness, every voice raised in defense of animals, every heart open to the plight of those in need. Together, we can create a ripple effect of compassion, spreading outwards and transforming the world, one heartwarming story at a time.